Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show you how you can add these car lights here. So let's go. First of all, we were using a custom car. If you want to know how to create one, of course, link is in the description. So let's start up with the material for the lights itself. For that, let's create a new folder called lights. Open this up. Then we want to create a material. Let's start with the front light. Open this up. And we need a base color. So for that we say constant for vector and connect the white here with the base color. And now we can select slightly yellow color. Of course, you can choose whatever you want. Let's say this one here, like that. Then we need an scalar parameter called intensity. And then we say multiply this one here. This will be B and this will be A, and we connect it to the emissive color here. So now when we change this value to 50, for example, you can see it lights up. But let's keep the default to 0. We hit apply and save this one. Now we need to create a material instance. So right click, create material instance, and we can just keep it like this one here. So now the good part is if you open this up, we have this material here. We can change the intensity right here. So we can change this later in our event graph. And then we just copy and paste this for the backlights. And then we just change the color here, let's say to a red one, like that. Just for example. And then again, create a material instance. And then let's copy and paste this again for an, let's say, underglow color. In this case, I would say, let's choose a blue color, kind of that. Yeah, that's fine. And of course, as well, create the material instance. Now we want to add this to our custom car. In my case, the front and the back lights are already a separate material, but I will show you how you can add materials separately to your car. For that, let's put the body, in this case a static mesh of course, of the car here inside the world. Then we choose the modeling tab here. Then we go to attributes. And now we can, for example, paint a polygroup, or we can directly add the material. I'd recommend to choose the polygroup here, and then we can just select what we want to paint later. For example, I want to paint this one here as an underglow color, like that. Then we hit accept. Then we hit edit material and can select the all in groups and then just select it, as you can see, like that. Then we scroll down where we have our materials. Like I said, in my case, we have the backlights and the front lights already. So let's just add another one. Then we select the active material to the new one. We keep selecting here the area here. We scroll down and hit the assign active material. Now you can see it's already changed. Then we hit accept. And that's basically how to add new materials to your car. So we can delete it out of the world here. We can close the modeling tab and open up our custom car. So this is the custom car from the import tutorial. Let's open up the construction script here. We already have a dynamic material, as you can see. Just keep it like this one, open up the details. Then we rename this here to the front light And then we take a look on our static mesh. We go to the material tab and then we check out our front lights. In this case have the material number 7. So we just add the element index to 7. Keep in mind to replace the mesh, of course, with our static mesh body. So as you can see, this one here, like that. And then just copy and paste this 2 times. Connect it. Let's check again. As I said, we have the backlights. So this is the 6. Like that. We can replace this one and say return value promote to variable. Then let's call this backlights. And at the end, we have the underglow. And this will be, let's see, material number 10. So now we have a variable, a dynamic material for the front, back lights and underglow. Compile and save this. Let's go to the event graph because we need to activate some functions here. Let's go to the parent class because we need a function from here. We need the braking controls. So let's just cut it out. Go to the custom car and put it in here. We already have the brake lights function, but we don't need it, but we can replace it directly. So let's take out the backlights here. And we want to set scalar parameter value. So we can just go from the started, put it right here and delete it. And then we set the parameter name to intensity. Very important to keep the same name that you choose before inside the material. And then we just put this here to, for example, 50 when we start it, and down here to 0, and of course connect the target. We have the same thing for the handbrake here, so we can delete it, copy and paste the function here, get the backlights, up here to 50, down here to 0. So we have finished the backlights, so let's choose something for the front lights. For example, the L key. And then we just get the front lights and do basically the same thing. So we can copy and paste the function down here. Let's choose a flip-flop. Up here, we want to set it to 50. And down here on B, we want to set it to 0. But let's go to the viewport again. And I want to have the spotlight, so we have more realistic front lights. For that, just go to add and hit spotlight. Let's put it right here where the front lights are. Like that. Go to the details. Then let's choose a similar color. For that, let's go back to our light section for the front light. And let's just copy and paste the code here. So we have the same color here, like that. And let's set this to, for example, 25. Of course, you can choose whatever you want. And then just copy and paste this as a second light, like that. Then we go back to the event graph. We take out the spotlights here. And then we want to set the visibility of both up here to active and down here to not active, connected like that. Of course, we have to set the default status of both of these to false. Alright, the last step would be the underglow. Let's choose the H key, for example, like that. Same thing, we'd select the underglow, copy and paste the function here, have a flip-flop as well, like that, and this again to 0. The last step is, of course, we go to the viewport, open up the details of our static mesh here, we select the front light instance, put it right here, then we select the backlight instance, put it right here, and of course the underglow right here. And that's it. Let's see if this works. We hit play, we hit the handbrake, you can see we have the backlights, we press H, you can see we have the underglow on both sides, and press L, and we have the front lights with the spotlights. Great! I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know, and yeah, goodbye.